see, huh? So, I know I should have done this like weeks ago, but it was on me a little depression bender, so didn't really get much done, unfortunately. Been filming like crazy, but I just didn't really feel like anything was good enough to put out for you guys. So, it's either too cynical or too bitter, or I just couldn't get my shit straight, so here we are. So, a few weeks ago, I asked the community on one of my videos what their questions were for me, and I did get a few of them, and I'm going to go ahead and do our little Q&A. Unfortunately, this is not a Coffee with Calliope video, because I am I love coffee, but coffee does not love me, so I ended up getting really sick the first few times I filmed this, but I figured that, you know, we can just do this, and we'll see about maybe next time. So, beginning with Klaus Bole. I don't really know how to say your username, but there you are. When is your birthday? My birthday is September 17th, so I just turned 20 about, well, I'm filming on October 17th, so about a month ago. And, well, yeah, it's September 17th. From Andrea Lardella, or I usually say Lardea with the Spanish double L, Music, which is one of my favorite commenters. What are your favorite triggers / ASM artists? So my favorite ASM artist of all time is Lauren Ostrowski Fenton. I totally just goofed up on the name, that's okay. And she's an Australian ASM artist. She does a lot of guided meditations and life wisdom nowadays, but she did used to do a lot of role plays, and she is absolutely incredible. I love her to death. Oh my gosh. And I do like massage ASMR. I like Heather Feather, who's starting to make a comeback. Let's see, who else do I got? I have probably 150 subscriptions to just a bunch of people. Right now I'm really into Crinkle Lovin' ASMR. I love the one Lilium, Ardra ASMR, things like that. Usually bigger ASMR artists. I really haven't gotten into little guys, just haven't really had the time nor motivation, unfortunately, but I would like to do that in the future. And my favorite triggers would be like, let's see. Ooh. Tapping, especially on glass. This is a little pumpkin candle I got from my mom for my birthday. So lots of glass tapping. I really love very distinct, crisp, whispered voices as well. My voice isn't great for whispering, but that's something else I like quite a bit. I love crinkling, like tissue paper, or actually have a dried hydrangea flower here. I have a bunch of items here. I was going to do a fall ASMR video, and maybe I will film one of those after this, but those are some of my favorite triggers, is just crinkling and very crisp whispering and all kinds of tapping. Alright, so this was a very big multiple question paragraph from Dan Morgan. Favorite place that I've traveled and dream future destination. So probably the favorite place I've traveled, I live in the Midwest. I don't really get out of my own state, not very often, until like a couple years ago. I had never been on vacation in my life. But me and my boyfriend went to St. Louis last year for New Year's, and we also went for the eclipse this year. So my favorite place there that we are going to go to every time we go is the St. Louis Botanical Garden, or the Missouri Botanical Garden. And that would be my all-time favorite place in the world. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I feel at home. I mean, it helps that it's like 100% humidity and it's warm, and it's incredible. It's my favorite place to be, and I actually would love to own a conservatory or create one or build one or something of the sort. So that would be the favorite place that I've traveled before. My dream future destination, probably Egypt, which is not a very good idea right now, unfortunately. I really wanted to go with the opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum, but that didn't really work out. Or Japan. Really want to go to Japan. So, guest list at your dream dinner party of 4 with anyone living or historical figures. I took this with the historical figures and ran with it, unfortunately. So, my first one, who is living, is Kate Beckinsale, because damn, that woman, god damn. Oh Lord, she is something else, and she is accomplished and smart, and she is everything I would ever want to be. So she's definitely going to be on my list. She would be very interesting to talk to. And historical figures would be Ramses II, Pharaoh of Egypt. That's my absolute favorite person in the world. Oop, here, just a second, let me turn off my phone. Lilac blooming again. That's good, Mom. Okay, and Lewis Carroll, or Charles Dodgson, author of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and Edgar Cayce, who was an American prophet, I guess you could say. He also did photography. He seemed like somebody very, very interesting to talk to. Alright. Given my channel name, do I enjoy poetry/verse, and if so, what are some of my favorites? So, I don't do much poetry anymore. I used to actually write poetry, and I got a couple awards for it. But I think my favorite poet/poem would be The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock by T.S. Eliot. It's something just kind of surreal. It always gives me sort of a... I love reading, so usually I can imagine what's happening in my head very easily, so it gives me that kind of surrealness where I can build up an environment around me. And I don't really enjoy poetry anymore. I mean, I do, but I don't go out and read it. Are you into ancient mythology, or is it due to the instrument called a Calliope, in regards to my channel name? So, I am into ancient Egyptian mythology, and that's about it. So that is my forte. That was what I wanted to do when I was a kid. I wanted to be an Egyptologist, and that's my home. That's my home subject. I love everything through and through with Egypt until you get to the Greco-Roman period. Then we're done. Then I'm done. No. And I did not actually know that there's an instrument called a Calliope, so I guess you learn something new every day. Alright. This is from a user named Amaranta, which actually I take care of a lot of Marantas in my greenhouse, so that was kind of funny. This wasn't quite a question, but I do understand. Bands, artists, books, and movies that I like. So, you never ask me about music. I will go completely crazy with it. So, my favorite band of all time is Breaking Benjamin. My second one is Chevelle. I also like Marilyn Manson, Deftones, Misfits, Tool, Tom Petty, rest in peace, my love. Def Leppard, Blink-182, My Chemical Romance, to name a few. So I've seen many bands in concert. I've seen like Papa Roach and Seether. I've seen Bush, which if you ever have the chance to go to a Bush concert, go. Oh my gosh. I didn't necessarily like their music, like all of it, before I went, but now they are one of my favorite bands, just because the front man, I'm trying to think of his name, and I know his name, but I can't think of it. I can't think of it. I know his name because I touched him, and he was just Gavin Rossdale. There we go. Gavin Rossdale. That was absolutely incredible. Alrighty. My favorite artist, I took this as painting artist, is Leonid Afremov, I believe. I believe he is Israeli. His paintings are extremely colorful, and a lot of them have more gold and bright, wild colors, and those, they speak to me on some kind of very deep level. I don't really have any more words besides deep. Just phenomenal. And books and movies. So, I don't really read much anymore. I kind of had a stint where it's not like dyslexia, but I would get motion sickness if I would read, and I went from reading a book every day to not being able to read anything for 2 years. So, I kind of am trying to get back into it, but my favorite book of all time is Watchmen by Alan Moore, and I think there's somebody else, but I can't think of his name. I want to say Gibbons, something like that. And anything by Maggie Stiefvater, I believe. She did the Shiver, Linger, Forever series and The Raven Boys, which I loved The Raven Boys. That was awesome. And I like the Ink series by Amanda Sun. My favorite movies would be Watchmen, Pride and Prejudice, Practical Magic, Nightmare Before Christmas, any late 90s / early 2000s rom-coms, because, come on, I'm an emotional chick. Let's be real here. So, that was all of my user questions, but I figured I'd tell you guys a little bit about myself. So I do live in the Midwest, more by the Mississippi, like on the Mississippi, and I live in a very small town, about 1,000 people. I've pretty much been a rural person my whole life. I was born in a city and lived there probably until I was about 8, and since then I've been a rural girl ever since. So I work at a garden center, and I'll be volunteering at a botanical center as well. Technically I went to college for a couple months. I dropped out. I went to college when I was 16, and it really wasn't for me. It's one of the nation's top party schools, so that was not my kind of deal, and I found that there was a lot of disrespect in regard to the minority populations, and there was a lot of tension, and just, it didn't really feel right to be there. It was pretty unsafe, to be honest, and not really about that. So, I'm 20 years old. I have 2 cats. One's named Dinky. He is a 20-pound orange tabby cat. And the other one is a kitten named Pino. She's a black kitty, except for just a tiny little sliver of a white belly. She's my moon and stars, my pride and joy. Sorry, my throat's kind of getting sorta dry. I love trucks. I love working on automobiles. I was actually going to be an auto mechanic after I left college for the first time. That didn't quite work out because my parents squashed that out of me. Now my dream is to own the greenhouse that I work at currently and run my own garden center / greenhouse. what else do I got? It's kind of hard talking about yourself, to be honest, because you know facts about yourself, but it feels kind of weird to talk about yourself. So, I guess part of my ASMR setup would be, currently I'm using a little, almost like an octopus tripod, I guess. It's the ones that can bend, and a flip camcorder, and a Blue Yeti mic, and my computer is right here because I don't have a recorder. I would like to upgrade my microphone. Good cameras are really, really, really expensive, and I'm actually in a kind of a, I guess not bad, but not a great monetary place, so I'm just gonna do what I do, and you know, we'll see what comes around. I'd rather spend money on props than upgrading my equipment because, well, I mean, I'd rather upgrade my mic, but this one is just perfect for what I'm doing. Let's see, what else do I got? Yeah, other than that, I mean, it would be easier if I knew what I was talking about, but this was kind of off the top of my head. I mean, mostly I just, I sit and listen to music. I play a lot of 90s simulator games. Well, I guess not necessarily 90s, early simulator games like Pharaoh or Alpha Centauri. I play a lot of Minecraft or Sid Meier's Pirates or Children of the Nile or computer games like that. I own quite a few video game consoles. I have a Super Nintendo, a Sega, an Atari, PlayStation 2, and did I say Nintendo 64? I think I did. I have a Nintendo 64 and a Wii, so I guess that's not that many, but I do think I have quite a few video game consoles that I like to play quite a bit as well. What else? I am not a fan of horror movies or gore or anything in general. It actually really bothers me because I have a horrid fear of death. I have a fear of squirrels and vacuums. I hate squirrels. They bark, they hiss, they bite. It's not my deal. Vacuums are just really loud. I love the actual machines, but not the noise they make. I love trains. And I'm talking like not the diesel electric now. I'm talking like 1840s to 1940s trains. Well, not even 1940s. That's like when diesel started coming out too. So I guess like 1920s. Yeah, because I think the big boys were probably 1940s. I want to say. I don't like anything past the articulated locomotives, if that makes any sense to anybody. I sleep with stuffed animals at night. What else? I'm just trying to think of all these little weird, quirky things that I do. I love trucks. I drive a truck. Chevrolet, forever. Chevrolet and Dodge. Let's see. Yeah, other than that, there's not much to me, I guess you could say. Not while I'm trying to think of it on my own. So, I know this is kind of a weird rambling video, but it was the best I could do with getting home from work and throwing on a new shirt and just winging it. So, I hope this is good enough, and I'll hopefully be back in the game pretty soon. So, I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit about me, and if you have any more questions, I'll be glad to answer them. So, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye now.